Awesome. And so our next person to come on up here, for all y'all to love the faces, is Chris Hall with a poem.
Yeah. Hi everybody. Hi. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little poetry program. Alright, so using the poetry of Andrea Gibson, a program. because the longer we stay asleep, the more the American dream turns into a nightmare. It's 2 a.m. The emergency room psychiatrist looks up from his clipboard with eyes paid to care and asks me if I see people who aren't really there. I say, I see people. How the hell am I supposed to know if they're really there or not? He doesn't laugh. Neither do I. The math's not on my side. 10 stitches and 1 lie. I swear I wasn't trying to die. I just wanted to see what my pulse looked like from the inside. It's 2 a.m. Tonight, in Iraq, there is a race to rape little girls before they can be raped by US soldiers. Tonight, in Iran, there is a missile aimed at the hill where Hafiz cut pieces of his soul with a knife and wove them into a blanket to protect us. Tonight, my skin is the color of 100 white flags torn apart at the seams and sewn into the body bag that holds her only son. And I am told God's will is done. By the hands that pan for gold in the bloodstreams of children, while 1 million souls are sold on the slave blocks of a pipeline, and a mother turns her bones into a bunker, fills her lungs with sand, and cradles her baby daughter till her own clavicle is blown to powder, fine as the dust on a butterfly's wing. Fast forward 1 year. I'm standing in an auditorium behind a microphone, reading a poem to 400 Latino high school kids who live with the breath of the INS crawling up their mother's backbones, and I am frantically hiding my scars. Because the last thing I want these kids to know is that I ever thought my life was too hard. I've never seen a bomb drop. I've never felt hunger. I've also never seen lightning strike, but we've all heard thunder, and it doesn't take a genius to tell something's burning. The smoke rises between us, forming walls so high they split the sky like slit wrists, and when the stars fall like blood, we're all left with nothing but a death wish. Is this your pursuit of happiness? The casket as small as a music box. A mother lifting that song to her ear. America, I dare you to rest your holy water beside her tears and see where Jesus chooses to walk. Heaven doesn't know your name. Only the sound of you rolling your barrels of blood to its gates, thinking grace is something you can buy with Muhammad's pulse. Tell me again how you intend to rescue their women, how you will teach them to read in the schools you have turned to prisons, how you will offer them doctors in the hospitals you have burned with their children inside. Tell me how they won't have to hide beneath their burqas, how you will wrap them in lace until they are all as conveniently rapeable as women in the States. Is this your pursuit of happiness? I wonder what the dead in Warsaw would say about the taxes we pay without thought of funding another Holocaust. If you are a nation under God, how is hell so close to your prayers? Do you see what you are pressing between your palms? Bones cannot break into song. A mother can never find the right place to store an empty cradle. A mouth can never find the right shape to hold the lullabies it will never sing. The bow is breaking, the cradle is falling. Is this your pursuit of happiness? Right now, a 6-year-old girl is crouched in a ditch in Lebanon, wishing on falling bombs. Right now, our government is recording the test scores of Black and Latino 4th graders to see how many prison beds will be needed in the year 2015. Right now, there's a man on the street outside that door with hands full of heartbeats no one can hear. His cheeks like torn sheet music, every tear a broken crescendo falling on deaf ears. At his side, there's a little girl with eyes like an anthem no one stands up for. Jeff Lucy came back from Iraq and hung himself in his parents' basement with a garden hose. The night before he died, he spent 45 minutes on his father's lap, rocking like a baby, rocking like "Daddy saved me." And don't think for a minute he too is in collateral damage in the mansions of Washington. They are watching them burn and hoarding the water. No senator's sons are being sent out to slaughter. No president's daughters licking ashes from their lips or dreaming up ropes to wrap around their necks in case they ever make it home alive. Our eyes are closed, America. 6 billion are served by the myth that our flag is no longer sewn from a white sheet. That Wall Street doesn't drag bodies down its center the same way good old boys in Jasper, Texas tied James Byrd Jr. to the back of a truck. Our system is served by truth being locked up in a senator's safe. That truth being that crime and poverty are crucial to the survival of any capitalist state. And our economy thrives every time a chain link on a school ground swing set breaks, sending a child hurling towards the street, feet once aiming towards the clouds now bound and shackled, sentenced to the opposite of life. Do we really believe that our need for Prozac has nothing to do with Baghdad, with Kabul, with the thousands of US school kids bleeding budget cuts that will never heal? Doctor, our insanity isn't that we see people who aren't there. It's that we ignore the ones who are, till we find ourselves scarred and ashamed, walking into emergency rooms at 2 a.m., flooded with a pain that we cannot name or explain because we're bleeding from the outside in. Skin is not impervious. Cultures built on war and greed do not pick and choose who they kill. We all fill the graves. I don't believe that we're hate. I think mostly we're just asleep, but the math adds up the same. You can't call up the dead and say sorry. We were looking the other way. There are names and faces behind our apathy, eulogies beneath our choices. Ask the fathers of the kids whose lives we exchange for cheap gas. Ask our prisons why prison bars always come in black. Ask Afghanistan, Palestine, Iraq. Ask the woman in Thailand whose cancer builds our laptops. Ask me how long I could keep going with this sentence. Thank God for denial. Thank God we can afford the makeup to pile upon the face of it all. Look at the pretty world. Look at all the pretty people. And the sky with a missile between her teeth. And a steeple through her heart. And not a single star left to hold her. And the voices of 1,000 broken nations saying, wake me, when the American dream is over.